A whole entire week without a win. A whole entire week without a win. What else do you need to know? We go from living our best football to losing to Mallorca, losing to Bayern, drawing to Girona. I skipped my gym day today to go watch this match. I skipped doing things, wasted 90 minutes of my life for this. Forget the analysis. You know what's the difference between the match against Atletico and the match against Girona? MBAPPE wasn't there. That's the difference. The difference between our happiness and our agony is MBAPPE. I don't care. Oh, he scored 23 goals. He scored 23 goals. For what reason? Do they matter? Have they won us anything? If he doesn't score 2 goals against Bayern in Wednesday, what is the point of 23 goals? If he doesn't score against PSG when we find him in the semifinals, what's the point of 23 goals? If he doesn't score in the final, what's the point of 23 goals? He can't even score against Girona. He can score against Bayern. Scored against. That was barely his goal. That was barely his goal. And Girona, he doesn't score. Why? You see, when he comes, everything gets worse. The only one that returns, Bellingham, is the only good news I've gotten in the past week. But the only good news is Bellingham coming well. The only good news is Bellingham being fit. The only other good news is that Barca lost in the Champions League, but they already won La Liga. So who cares? Who cares? They won La Liga. Congratulations. I have nothing to Who's gonna compete with them? Lamine Yamal is gonna be player of the season. If they win the Champions League, they win the Ballon d'Or. I don't care. No one cares really. Okay. No one cares. Real Madrid are finished as it stands right now. They are finished because in the Champions League they're dead. In La Liga they're dead. They were dead in both cup competitions since the start of this year. We started the season superbly. Yeah, we had that 5-2 against Atletico, but who cares that we won? The rest of the matches were superb. We won against Barcelona. We were winning our Champions League matches too. Let's not forget, we were top 8 before the half of the season. Then, for some reason, we sacked Xabi Alonso for losing against Barcelona 3-2 in the Supercopa over a good match. It was a good match. 1 goal away from drawing, and we almost got it. It wasn't even a disaster. We sacked Xabi Alonso because we thought the players knew better. Look what that drags us to. Yeah, we have big wins sometimes because our players are top quality. Yeah, Valverde. Yeah, that's why we win against. Because when they want, if we think the players know better, well, when they play good, they're gonna play good. When they play bad, they're gonna play bad. But they don't play by systems. And I'm done pretending that this is fine. This hasn't been fine. And you know what? We had a revival. We could have won. We could have gone in the Champions League too. We could have gone in La Liga too. But then after the international break, MBAPPE comes back. And we lose against Mallorca. Fine. No superstitions. We lose against Bayern. Fine. And then we draw against Girona. Now that all that matters is the next thing, we lose against Bayern again. If Bayern 3 losses. Not a single win in 4 matches. I am not. No, brother, no, brother. Ew, wow. Normally I would analyze matches, but this team has been so inconsistent, and I'm so amateur that I really can't put a finger on what's wrong, except the whole team being god awful. The only one today that I saw in good form, there were only 2, Bellingham and Brahim Diaz. They were cooking in the midfield. But Bellingham got tired, had to be subbed off. And because he was tired, he couldn't defend, and that was a goal. Camavinga god awful. I don't know what Camavinga is god awful. He gets nutmegged into a fucking. No, I don't wanna. No. It's just no. This season for Real Madrid, it started good, and the only difference between it started going downhill the moment we hit one tough block. Like when we drew 3 matches in a row in December or September, whatever, and lost one. That's when we hit the first rough patch, and I think that's where it killed us. Because Xabi Alonso lost support or something, and we lost the leadership of La Liga. Then we think the best idea is to sack him when he's gaining back form, when Rodrigo is in form, when everyone is actually starting to play. Yeah, we didn't win La Supercopa, but we still did a good match. It wasn't something to sack him over. Like I said when he got sacked, there were better moments to sack Xabi Alonso than today. And simply put, today, we miss him now because he had a system. He put a system in place. And now we're paying the price of listening to MBAPPE, of listening to Vinicius, of listening to, frankly, no one. We shouldn't have been listening to anybody. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to tell you. Because there's no sense to this. The fact we lost to Girona is already mind-boggling. The fact that we lost all our last matches too is mind-boggling. When are we gonna... I mean, you know what? We have the summer. You have a summer to think about. If you want Mbappe to be in the team, if you want Bellingham to be in the team, if you want anyone to be in the team, if you want Arbeloa to continue, or you have a manager in mind, you have players in mind, you have a World Cup to see what players are playing good. You have all opportunities. I'm gonna say next season we have to take them. And I'm not asking for a win in La Liga or a Champions League. I'm asking for one. One trophy. One trophy I'm asking. Because this year Barcelona had a rough patch too. Because they didn't win la Copa del Rey. The Champions League they're losing against Atletico. And they're hitting a rush patch. But you don't see Flick give up like we do. We give up instantly. Mbappe had an awful game. 3 awful games. He scored again. He scored again. Yeah, he scored against Bayern after having 20 chances. 1 in 20 shots went in. Let me check that because maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm confidently wrong. But Mbappe shot 500 times. He shot 500 times. Let's see. Where is the stat? He had 4 on target, 2 outside the box. Mate, it's not even that much. Oh my god. I have no way to tell you this, but he got fucked. He absolutely fucked. There is no way to put. We got fucked, and Barcelona lost to Atletico, and again, another Barcelona center back gets a red card in the Champions League. In the quarterfinals of the Champions League. You know, I'm thankful sometimes for not being a Barca fan because 3 years in a row, their center backs have consistently gotten a red card in the quarterfinals. The year they don't get a red card in the quarterfinals, they're probably gonna win it. But this is a disaster in no way for Madrid. I talk about Madrid because that's what my club is. But this is also a bad situation for Barcelona. I'm betting that it's gonna be Arsenal and Liverpool and PSG on the final because have you seen this PSG team actually? So I'm complaining right now about Madrid. Imagine being a Liverpool fan. I'm going a bit of everywhere, catching up with everything I had to do a video on long, but man, this has to be depressing. Being a Liverpool fan has to be depressing. At least they're getting Champions League if they keep going like they're going in their thing in the Premier. Still, this is depressing. Like, mate, oh my God. If you saw the match, you saw that these people were playing like Liverpool were a bunch of kids. They were playing like they were playing street football. Like, they, again, got underestimated and they just put a show. And also, I'm pretty sure Tottenham got in the relegation. Yeah. Let me check that. Okay, so, this is why I look at other leagues. Because when I see Madrid, I get depressed. But when I see other leagues, I realize that it could have been much worse. Tottenham is actually in a relegation battle. If they don't win against Sunderland on the 12th, we might see Tottenham playing championship football. No, you see, these 2 past years in football have been interesting, to say the least. We already knew, it's been an interesting 2 years in football. Too bad one of my clubs to decline during those 2 years are both my clubs, both my favorite clubs, because both Zaragoza and Madrid have been the definition of wow, underperforming, underwhelming. But yeah, look, I just hope when we go to Bayern, we lock in. Because if we don't go to Bayern locked in, we're gonna be in trouble. Because this is we started the year better than last year, and we still somehow end up worse. And I know why we end. It's not a mystery. Let me say it to you. We sacked Xabi Alonso for no reason we sacked Xabi Alonso because of the fucking kids we have in the dressing room. Because MBAPPE didn't like him. Because Vinicius didn't like him. Because Valverde didn't like him. That's why we're here. Because we got adjustment. We got Arbeloa. Kind Arbeloa with the power of friendship. So yeah, at this point we were better off keeping Carleto Ancelotti in the team. And since we resorted back to the normal one, we went back to Pintus. We went back to the old training staff. We went back to doing Ancelotti Black Magic nights. But now we don't have the Black Magic. We don't have the Ancelotti. We don't have the main ringleader. We have his youth coach. It's a mess. It's a mess. Madrid have been a mess. I normally talk tactics, but today is just not about tactics. It's about the greater part of this team. Personality issue, man management. We talk about tactics, but you know what the real problem is? Commitment by the fucking team, by defenders. The commitment of defenders to defend. The commitment of Camavinga to defend, the commitment of Bellingham to defend, the commitment of MBAPPE to defend, the commitment of Vinicius, the commitment of Brahim. The commitment to fucking die for the badge is gone. There's no commitment. Last time we had commitment was when we won the Champions League. And that's 2 years ago. And now we have to stop believing that we are entitled to a Champions League, to a La Liga, because we're not working for it. We're entitled. It's no more tactical because the system, there's been 5 different systems that Arbeloa tried already. The best one came when MBAPPE was injured, where Bellingham was injured. That's the best system we've had with Arbeloa. We saw wins against City. We saw wins against Atletico. We saw another win against City. We went to the quarterfinals. No one waited us to pass. But the moment the system breaks, we're fucked. We have to start questioning whether some of these members deserve to play for Real Madrid. Because it's not just about he's the best in the world. No, does he deserve the badge? Do you know the guy will die for the badge? Maybe it's time we start to learn from Barcelona sometimes and say, oh wait, look at the youth academy. What did we bring out of the youth academy? We brought out Thiago Pitarch. We brought out Gonzalo. We brought Asensio. We brought out people who have a heart of fire for this club. Fran Garcia today was beautiful. He had a heart of fire to fight for the club. But we keep signing these phonies. People who are only there for the greatness of Real Madrid. If Madrid fans are glory hunters, MBAPPE is the greatest glory hunter of all time. Because he came here only for the glory. When he said that he wasn't going to win it in PSG, he changed teams. Because if PSG won the Champions League when he was there, he never would have come to Madrid. That's it. That's it. And Bellingham came here to be a superstar. And he worked to be a superstar 1 year. When he became that, he never played again. 7 GA, by the way. 7 GA in La Liga. Valverde has more GA than Bellingham. Why? Why? And now that we don't have Courtois, we can't even save the unsavable. We don't have our Titanic saver. Because Lunin is not a bad goalkeeper. Let me be clear. Lunin is not a bad goalkeeper. He's exactly what he has to be. He's a good goalkeeper. But we have the best goalkeeper out there right now. We have Courtois. It's simple as that. And now we lost. There's nothing to fight. I'm gonna say, but next week it's irrelevant. It's irrelevant. Next week I'm just watching football. I'm not watching Madrid fight for anything. For 3 points to look a bit better in the season. That's what I'm watching. Oh yeah, if we win against Barcelona, I'm gonna be happy, of course. But Barcelona running with the title. If they lose El Clásico, let's say they lose El Clásico, what changed? Because we're like 6-7 points away from them. It's bullshit. It's all bullshit. Madrid are in the ground. We're running the ground. And if we don't win against Bayern, there is literally nothing to play for. There's literally nothing to play for. Except like keep our egos afloat. I don't know. Congratulations to Barcelona on the title. And nothing. I think I'd rather move on to the Premier League. Like I said, I was talking about it a bit. I'd rather move to the Premier League and Serie A. Well, not Serie A, but to the Premier League because it's the biggest league, right? So, yeah, Arsenal are winning the title. Let's not make two ways about it. They have won all their games. They've been playing the best tactical football, which is what Madrid are missing, by the way. They're playing tactical football. No matter how much anti-football you call it with set pieces, this is the purest expression of tactical football. Man City and Arsenal. And this is maybe why the Prem may be boring, because you don't have the Lamine Yamal, you don't have the Vinicius, you don't have the Mbappes who all act on their instinct of dribbling. But you have set piece routines that score goals. You have throw-ins that score goals. You have passes that score goals. And now we have United with tactics that score goals. It's just simple as that. And I can see it. I can see it in United. I can see it in. Whoa. What the fuck? Okay. Can I not bet? I don't want to bet. Oh, that was odd. I don't want to bet. Anyways, we see United here has had a revival. I want to see this because United is one of the few teams that I think just revived completely. It's revived. It's been revitalized. It's been completely revived. Liverpool is one of the other teams that are like Madrid, like and Chelsea are in their spot. They belong in the Europa League. But as for the rest, I mean, I gotta talk about Tottenham, haven't I? Don't I? It's the biggest in the hole in the room, right? What a joke of a club. What a joke. Because I say this often about Real Zaragoza. The fans of Zaragoza are fantastic. Probably the best fans you've ever seen in a second division. That's because I'm a bit, biased, but they're pretty good. And they have a huge stadium coming out. La Nueva Romadera is going to be a World Cup stadium because that's what Spain wanted. That's invested by the Spanish government. And I say, yeah, their fans and the stadium is going to end up fitting big for Zaragoza because they're going to be in the third division next year. Well, Tottenham Hotspur has a proper Champions League, Premier League stadium that is one of the most modern venues out there. Have you seen Tottenham's home stadium? I highly encourage you to see, to anyone watching this, I highly encourage you to see that stadium, and then think that's just not a second division stadium. That's not a championship stadium. Next year they're gonna be playing against Derby County. They're gonna be playing against the Leicesters, the West Brom, as a Premier League side that last year won a European trophy. And play Champions League, and I don't know if it's transfer policy, if it's managers, but if Madrid have it bad, this has to be feeling like shit. This has to feel like proper shit, like proper shit. And nothing. I mean, being a Tottenham fan in 2026 has to be the worst experience. I wouldn't wish it upon anyone because you expect to be doing well now that you won a European trophy, but instead the guys you beat are in third place going for Champions League, and you're in 18th trying to not fall for the third division, for the second division. I just gotta say, football this week has been awful for the big teams. The small teams have been really prolific. I mean, the small teams this week have been enjoying it, and I mean, the winners of the leagues, have been already revealed. Arsenal has to be insanely happy with the results of this week. Barcelona have to be insanely happy with the results of this week in La Liga, because in Champions League they're worried, of course. I don't think Atletico has the spirit to win. However, I mean, they're Atletico Madrid. If you see any match of them and you know that if they get scored first on, they're not gonna win. And yeah, England is out. I mean, the only good team in England right now is Arsenal. Well, anyways, I'm gonna end the video here. The rant is over. It's just anger. I feel anger over this Real Madrid side. And maybe I'll see you next time with a proper analysis instead of a anger rant.